for me, actually, my focus is first and foremost mindset. The main key is that at the end of the day, you can have all the information that you want and need, but if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to take action.
Welcome to the One Day at a Time podcast, where we take things one day at a time. Today in the studio, we have Deborah.
Hi.
Hi, Deborah. Welcome to the studio.
Lovely place.
Thank you. Can you do a quick introduction about yourself?
Okay, so for me, I'm a metabolic health coach, and what I do actually is help people with their mindset when it comes to their metabolic health, their body comp, and any goals they want to achieve that is related to health and wellness.
Okay, so you just like, there's a lot of terms here. Let's break them down, right? So there's metabolic health, right? You talk about comps and you talk about the mindset behind wellness, right? Which I think these are some topics that we will talk about today. So first off, right, I think when it comes to like health coaches, fitness coaches, there are a lot of different types, right? You have your regular gym coach that everybody knows. You have like a dietitian, which is like some sort of coach also, right? So what exactly is a metabolic health coach? Okay,
so metabolic health is a very big word. Like when you think about metabolic health or the word metabolic, what comes to your mind actually?
It's just metabolism, right? How fast your body is able to break down certain things.
Okay, so see, that's the thing that a lot of people think about. They think about how fast your body burns fat, mainly. But actually the word metabolism, right? Metabolism, if you were to put it in a very scientific way, is actually the way that our cells utilize energy for fuel. So when we think about that on a molecular level, right, actually our body, just having this conversation alone, it's metabolism, because our cells are burning energy sources, they're burning fuel, and fuel usually comes from our food to actually generate the energy so that we can sit here and have this conversation. So when we talk about metabolic health, if I were to summarize it, actually, it's really about holistic health. And let's say if you just do a quick Google search online, you Google metabolic illnesses, a lot of things will come out. Things like hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol. All these actually, they encompass under a category called metabolic illnesses. So when I talk about metabolic health, it's not just about burning fat, right? It's actually about holistic wellness. It's about doing well for your health, for yourself. Because you can be very slim, you can be very skinny, but if you have high cholesterol, you still have a problem. So metabolic health goes way beyond how we look actually, but it really focuses on holistic health and wellness, if that makes sense.
Right. So how does a client or like a customer work with a coach like yourself?
Okay, so I definitely do have some knowledge on nutrition and some on fitness, but one thing that I don't want to do is to claim to be specializing in everything. I think you might have seen some people online that claims to specialize in everything, like wow, you must come to me for nutrition, you must come to me for fitness, and I'm your one stop for everything. So for me, actually, my focus is first and foremost mindset. I do have knowledge, yes, in nutrition. I've done actually some nutrition courses, to upgrade myself and all. And I have done a lot of my own research because I do have my own story when it comes to metabolic health also. But the main key is that at the end of the day, you can have all the information that you want and need. But if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to take action.
Right.
So my key focus is working with the client's mindset. And how I do that is I come from a place of empathy. I believe strongly in empathy. So empathetic coaching can look something like, okay, your doctor has told you need to eat a certain way to maybe bring down your blood sugar, but you're not doing that. And why is that so? So we always start from there first. I always start from mindset. What's going on? What's happening? Is it because you are an emotional eater? Is it because you have family problems at home? Like, what are you struggling with really? What is stopping you from doing what you want to do? So I start there first. And then, of course, I will give them some tips along the way that will actually fit with their limitations. So example, yes, in theory, you can tell a diabetic to cut their sugar, but how realistic is that? Can we work out a way where maybe the person can still enjoy some sweet things, in moderation, but, still help them to manage their intake, at the same time, they're happy about it. Because a lot of people who go on diets, they're not happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So essentially, you work with clients who have goals, whether they are diabetic and they still want to live a certain lifestyle, right? They have a certain goal to achieve. Yeah. You break down what exactly the goals are and how you can get there in a sustainable way, right? And not essentially be extremely unhappy on a daily basis just because you want to achieve a certain goal.
Yes.
Something along these lines, right? So when a client comes to you with a goal, say like, because just now you mentioned like a diabetic patient or maybe like weight loss. I think weight loss is something that's extremely common.
Weight management actually is one of the, it comprises of a big chunk of my clients actually.
I'm sure, because weight management, weight loss and all this topic has been around for like the longest time, right? Like there are different, I guess, solutions or remedies to it. Like you go to a company that talks about slimming services or whatever. There's so many different types of things, right? Dietitians. So for you personally, when a client comes to you, what is the general process? Like, do you sit down and you come up with like a plan, or is there like a service that you provide? Like, for example, you link up with certain like fitness coaches or like a diet people, or like they take certain products to help with the to like crave less sweet things. How does it work for you?
Okay, so first and foremost is getting to know them better first. You need to connect with your client. It needs to be about them, not about you see. At the end of the day, we provide a service. And if they feel that maybe if they can't connect with me, then I usually introduce them to someone else. But I need to know what they really want first. Because, have you ever met situations where like, you have a conversation with someone, initially you thought this was their goal and actually turns out that's not really their goal.
Right.
Because they haven't actually went through the process of really thinking through what they want. So, I will ask them many, many questions. I'll ask them, what are you really looking for? Are you looking to, let's say, lose X number of kgs in a certain time frame? Are you really looking to, say, fix some health challenges that you are struggling with? So what do you really want? And then from there, right, depending on what the condition is, so if it's medical, at the end of the day, I'm not your doctor, right? I need to make sure that you work with your doctor also.
Right.
So I don't override doctor's orders. If let's say they are working with a hospital dietitian or a doctor, if they need to take certain medications, they have to take it.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
And if let's say they are working with a PT, even better. So I wouldn't say that when I create, later on when I eventually do create a routine or a plan for them, it will encompass all these things that they have in their life already. Yeah. And at the same time, if let's say I feel that certain supplements might be beneficial for them, then yes, it is included in the program. Yeah. So I would say it's very subjective. It's really tailored to individuals. So before I can really answer the question, I usually have to sit down with them, whether it's through text, through Zoom, or in person, to have a conversation with them first. Yeah. And I will also be very truthful with them. Like sometimes they may have very unrealistic goals.
Right.
Like, I want to lose 20 kg in 1 month. Oh, no.
Right.
Yeah. And if it compromises their health and safety, I'll be very upfront with them also.
Right.
Yeah.
So you usually, I guess, have a little bit of a get to know you session before you really embark on this journey with them lah. So when it comes to like health and wellness coaching, how does it work in a sense where do you meet your clients up every month, like do like a little bit of a review, and how do people, I guess because like the wellness industry is extremely broad in a sense where there are different types of service providers. Different types of service providers charge differently. Some charge based on consultation basis, some charge based on products, So for you personally, right, how do you work with your clients?
Okay, so my personal story is initially I started by taking a product. And back then I was going through my own challenges with my health because I was already exercising multiple times a week. For just for perspective, I actually took pole dance to try to get stronger and healthier and things like that. And I did gain muscle, but I didn't lose the body fat. And I mean, on hindsight, I think there were other underlying things that I was struggling with, which was why like I wasn't really seeing the results I wanted. And I had not just a problem with my immunity. I mean, I was falling sick almost every month, so I would clear my entire MC month, like the 14-day MC quota within the entire year. I'll finish it up. And I have very bad knees. So like people can't tell, but actually both my knees, I have mobility problems with my knee joints lah. Yeah, the cartilage has worn out to the point that at one point I couldn't walk down the stairs.
Because it really, really hurts.
It really hurts, both left and right. So
Right.
yeah, so I was struggling so much just in my day-to-day, and back then I was in my mid-20s, and I felt like, wow, my quality of life at this age is already like that. I don't know how am I going to live the rest of my life, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so I was looking for a solution, and someone recommended me a product. So I thought, okay, I will try the product. And long story short, along the way, it wasn't just about the product, but I started really learning about nutrition for myself, actually, because I would ask a lot of questions.
Right.
I think some people, they just, you're just curious, right? Oh, how does one make decaffeinated coffee, for instance? And you think about it. I'm that kind of person. I'll just think about it the whole night.
Dive down the rabbit hole.
And I dive down the rabbit hole, yes. So I started finding out more about nutrition, and then I got really excited about it. And then, long story short, the weight came off. I lost 20 kgs healthily in the course of like about 3 years. I think 3 years-ish.
Right.
So a lot of people started asking me, what do you do? And then I realized that there is a problem with mindset. A lot of people struggle with mindset. You know, they know some answers, or maybe they have some ideas or some knowledge. Either their knowledge is incomplete, so they may be hearing things on the internet or what, and they don't know where to find the answers. So they are trying out a lot of different things but hitting a lot of walls. Or maybe they know what they need to do, but they struggle with the mindset on getting to the point or to the place where they can actually take action. So that was kind of what started off this entire coaching journey for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was more for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Along the way, you gained some knowledge, and you managed to get some results for yourself.
Yeah.
And people kind of started knocking on your door to say like, what you do.
Yeah.
And then you turned this thing into a kind of venture to help people in their wellness journey.
Correct.
Right. And not just weight loss, right? But like a general health and wellness journey and things like that. So in your experience, right, obviously a lot of the people that come to you, I'm sure they come to you and say, Deborah, I want to lose weight and things like that. But based on your own journey and experience, what is the general spectrum of issues that people come to you with that is actually not the main issue? Okay, so let me elaborate a bit here. So like just now you mentioned that, some people come to you and they're like, I want to lose weight. And then you realize that actually that's not really the issue. Maybe it's something else, right? So why is it that for many people, right, they take all sorts of products, they take all sorts of supplements or like all sorts of lessons, but they just cannot achieve their goals, maybe in like weight loss?
So some of the common issues that I see, one is their mental health.
Okay.
In all honesty, mentally they're not doing well. And as much as it sounds very hocus pocus, actually our mental health is very, very closely related to how our body responds chemically. It has a physiological response on the body. Like for myself, how I suddenly gained so much weight overnight, my weight gain wasn't natural. It was a very overnight thing. Within a year, I ballooned like 15 over kgs. It was because of stress. So people think that it's, I don't feel happy, I don't feel good. It's a very just a mental thing, right? No, it's not. It actually has real life physical consequences on your body. So first thing is mental health. They could be chronically stressed, and then it affects their sleep, and it affects the way they see themselves and their family, and your body's not going to do well when you're in that state. Of course, the other element would be, it could be perception of how they see themselves. Sometimes they are not really overweight. They are actually in a very healthy body weight. And then when I have a longer chat with them, I might say, hey, actually, you don't need to lose weight. Maybe you need to see a therapist to have a conversation about your own body image, your own perception of your self-worth, And of course, sometimes it's just very real issues like that. I have a medical condition, so I need to bring the weight down so that it helps with my medical condition. So it really varies, honestly. Yeah.
So when clients come to you for like a chat, like a consultation, do you charge like per session? Because it takes a lot of research and planning on your end also, right? To kind of have a conversation with a client to kind of ensure that whatever that you're telling the client is right and not just applying the same thing to every single client, right? Like, do you charge per session or per, every month, every time they come and see you? How does that work?
Okay, so currently I have two ways of actually doing the consultation. So one way is if let's say they are trying out they want to try out the product that I'm on, because after all I did start with product first.
Okay.
Then the arrangement that I have with them is I say, okay, you go on the product, and the guidance that I offer to you is actually like packaged with the product. So you just pay for the product.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if let's say they are telling me, okay, I just want to work purely on my mindset, like, just coach me on my mindset, then I charge by per hour. Yeah.
So if you do that, right, like the clients come and they see you per hour, is it always like a 1 hour session, like a monthly thing, or is it different for every client?
It's really up to them, because everyone has a different perception of time. Like some people, they need a lot of hand holding, they need the assurance. So they need a lot more time with me. And for some, they like the idea of the face-to-face coaching, but the reality is they're so busy, they don't have time for that. I had situations where I would love to spend more time with the client, but it's the client that's too busy for me.
Right.
So I have to respect that also, because I have some people really love that personal touch. Some people like to be left alone. I have been told off before by some people saying you're too much for me.
Right.
So I have to respect that, and then that again comes with communication. You have to talk to them, and if you sense that they're too busy to reply you, or they're not very comfortable to reply you, at some point you really need to like hands off and respect that personal boundary, because everybody is different.
Right. So the way that you work with different clients have to be kind of different also.
Yes.
Right. Like you mentioned that your entire wellness journey started with a product, and right now you're also working with the product, right? Can you share a little bit more about this product?
Okay, so it's actually called exogenous ketones. Like the actual scientific term of the product is exogenous ketones. I don't know if you've ever heard of exogenous ketones before.
Not exactly, yeah.
Okay, so it actually is military tech. It originated as military tech. Do you know anything about the keto diet?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, so like, when you think about the keto diet, what do you think about?
High fat, low carb.
High fat, low carb. And usually what kind of people do it?
Man, I don't know. I know so many people on Instagram doing the ketone thing, but I never really dive into it which is why you're here to explain to us.
Yeah, so okay, keto diet, right? Actually, unbeknownst to many people, we know of it as this fat diet, FAD, not FAT,
right?
A fat diet that helps you to lose weight.
Right.
But actually, the truth is the keto diet is a medical diet.
Okay.
So it originated as a way for doctors to actually help their patients with neurological disorders. So in our body, there are different energy sources. Our body usually uses glucose, which comes from carbs, for energy. Then protein is for muscle repair and muscle synthesis. And then we have fat, which is a storage form of energy, for use during emergencies. So for people with neurological disorder, what happens is that their brain cells, for whatever reason, they don't efficiently use glucose very well. So you have almost like some sort of an energy crisis going on. And then when you have that kind of problem, then obviously you're going to have neurological issues.
Right.
So even until today, I was actually talking to, I forgot which hospital this neurologist works in, but she was sharing with me that if, let's say, a child with epilepsy is not responding well to epilepsy medication, they might actually recommend the keto diet. So keto diet is actually a medical diet. It allows the body to go into ketosis, to burn fat. And, when the body burns fat and goes into ketosis, the ketone bodies then becomes that alternative source of energy for the brain. And the brain actually uses ketones better. It generates more ATP per molecule of ketones than glucose. Okay, if you don't know what ATP is the energy currency that our cell uses.
Okay.
Like, when you burn
right.
something, there's fire, and then you get the end result, right? So ATP is like the energy currency that our body will use, our cell will use for energy.
Right. So there are many products in the market, right, that is similar in a sense, like it's kind of to induce ketosis and all of that, right? So there's so many different brands, so many different people that are kind of recommending different brands. So in your opinion, right, in your experience, are they actually all exactly the same? They do the same thing? Or does it boil down to preference? Like, for example, you buy Adidas and Nike, they're basically the same, but is it a branding thing, or do they do different things?
Okay, so this is definitely not an easy question to answer. It's very complex, right? Because there is a business aspect involved, but yet there's also a science aspect involved. So from what I understand, the brand that I got on, I got onto it because of trust.
Right.
At the point when I tried it, honestly, I was so done with trying to explore different ways to get my weight down already. I had tried slimming centers, and I even had a doctor tell me I was fat and gave me slimming pills.
Right.
Yeah, I was quite mean. This doctor was very mean.
Right.
Anyway, but I had tried a lot of different things. I tried creams and all kinds of ridiculous things that actually made me very uncomfortable, and also made me very uncomfortable with how I saw myself. So I just wanted to be mentally healthy, at least in a comfortable state mentally, emotionally myself. When my friend introduced this to me, from what I understood after doing a lot of reading up, right, this particular company is one of the pioneers. So backtrack again to military tech. How did this exogenous ketones come about? When Navy SEAL divers started diving underwater at deep sea pressures, right, the oxygen rebreather they used actually triggered epileptic seizures, similar seizures to what epileptic people face. So obviously that's going to be a problem, right? You don't want your Navy divers dying underwater.
Right.
So then they got a scientist to formulate a product that can get these guys in ketosis without doing the keto diet, because high fat, low carb, it's very hard to comply. And also to actually get a doctor to put you on that diet in a very healthy way, because if you eat high fat, there's so many kinds of fat, man. If you eat too much saturated fat, then you have a cholesterol risk also, right? So to get a doctor to assess the diet and make sure that it's healthy, and then get these people to comply, it's high difficulty level. So then, this obviously putting you into ketosis exogenously would be a very good solution. So this guy, went through with the research and came up with it. Then the next problem is it's very expensive. Like one serving is a couple $1,000s, right? It's not accessible to most people. And it tasted horrible.
Okay.
Like someone said it tasted like petrol fuel or something. I don't know if it's true. I've never tried it raw, but yeah.
Okay.
So long story short, this company that whose ketones that I'm drinking, they then took this technology and said, how can we make it consumer level? How can we make it such that people who need this as a metabolic alternative, for whatever reasons, can enjoy this at a more consumer level price? So long story short, that's where I am. My friend introduced it to me. And then I went to find out more about the product, and I realized that, they were they actually patented a lot of their technologies, how they made their ketones. So one thing that's very interesting about them is that they found a way to make it vegan.
Okay.
Yeah, like through their manufacturing process, they somehow found a way to use plant sources to create these exogenous ketones. They held all the patents for it. So a lot of companies that came out later, obviously they can't replicate that technology. Yeah, and then there are two types of ketone bodies also. The ones that are metabolically bioidentical, they're bioidentical to what your own body naturally produces, and then the other one is an isomer. So it's like a mirror image.
Right.
So does it really fit? It's a question mark, right? Because this and this obviously is not the same.
Right.
Yeah. And then of course also there's the question of dosage. Okay, I'll just repeat that again. There's the question of dosage, because you need a certain dosage to go into effective ketosis. Our bodies are in ketosis all the time actually. It's just that, is it in ketosis enough that you actually see fat burning? So the same with taking exogenous ketones. Some products, right, they may market themselves as at a lower price, but actually if you count the dosage, you probably need the entire box. You need to finish the entire box of pills or whatever to get into that effective state that you want. Yeah, so dosage versus the molecular structure makes a difference. I can't speak for other products, but I would say for sure that, like the one that I'm taking, I had a very good experience with it.
Right, because it's tried and tested by you lah. You have gone through the whole process and you understand how it works with your body and all that lah.
Yes.
I see. Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, I think the keto diet thing has been around for a while lah. There have been many people that is like they want to lose weight to get married, get into a wedding dress, and then they start to do this keto diet thing, right? Like go and buy the drink and things like that. And there are many I think a lot of people who are kind of into weight loss as an idea, they want to start doing it. They'll probably see a lot of ads on different products, right? And ketones is one, just merely one of them.
Yeah.
Right. And your journey you tried a whole bunch of stuff, but most of them just didn't really work out for you until you discover this lab, which is why right now you're trying to see if you can help people discover this. And have you ever come across anybody or anyone that you're trying to help, right, that this product like doesn't work for them? Because like for you, I'm sure you've tried a whole bunch of other things, and this whole bunch of other things, I'm sure some of it surely works for other people, right?
Yep.
So like, is this for everybody and anybody, or there are some people that, oh, this might not be suitable for?
That's a great question, actually. In fact, that was the very thing that triggered my my study or my in-depth research into nutrition and into ketosis and ketones, because it helped me. It actually helped my husband also. My husband also lost 20 kgs. It helped my mom. My mom lost 10 kgs, and she actually brought her cholesterol down to very, very normal levels without the help of medication. So it has helped a lot of people. I mean, I have a whole bunch of clients that benefited from it, but there were also people that struggled. And then, that made me ask why. Like what is the thing that's stopping them? Is it their genes? Is it something that they didn't do right? And that also triggered my coaching journey. So along the way, I began to realize that some people treat it as a shortcut. Kind of like almost like, oh, if I take this, I'll give you an analogy. Like, I'm going to go for this masterclass with a famous practitioner, and after that, I'm going to become an expert. You heard this, you hear this a lot, right?
Yeah.
Or like, they think it's a quick fix for certain mindset issues that they may have surrounding, say, nutrition or their lifestyle. But when the root problem doesn't change, right? Yes, it may help you to some extent, but it may not help you to the extent that you would like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So another thing also is ketones is actually not a slimming supplement. It's actually to help you with your cellular energy. So what I mean is that, remember I talked about how the ketone bodies can generate more ATP. So it's almost like, imagine if, do you drive?
No, not really.
Okay. So for people who drive, you all might be able to relate to this. There are different types of fuel. Right? They all work on the car, but one of it is going to help your car work more efficiently. Ketones is kind of like that. So when you have efficient fuel in your body and your body functions better, operationally it will work better. And weight loss or fat loss might be one of the side effects of that, on top of a lot of other improvements. Like for me, I stopped falling sick. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So it only helps with it helps with energy efficiency. But then if you treat your car like crap, if you're constantly revving your engine for no reason, you don't send it for tune-ups in the workshop, eventually your car will still break down.
Right. So it's not a replacement for a healthy lifestyle, a healthy mindset.
You still need to put in some work with your lifestyle, with your mindset, with your nutrition, of course, again, according to your health profile. And at the end of the day, what it does is it compounds and speeds up those results. It is not an excuse or replacement. And I think that is the problem with the slimming industry. I won't talk about the wellness industry, but the slimming industry in particular. People go for products because they're looking for a fast fix. But if you took 10 years to get to this point, what makes you think that this will solve your problem in 10 days? It doesn't.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So if somebody wants to kind of, because this is a relatively complicated topic, right? Like,
Yes,
and it's very person to person, right? It really doesn't, it's not a one size fits all and everything.
Yep.
So if someone wants to find out a little bit more about how your service or what you do, whether it's the product side of things or it's the consultation side of things can help them, where can they actually find you online, or how can they contact you?
Okay, so you can actually look for me on Instagram or TikTok, but I prefer Instagram. Go to @CelestiaMuse, CelestiaMuse. You can drop me a DM, and if you click on my link in bio on my Instagram, you'll be able to find my contact number, and you can also drop me a WhatsApp if that's easier for you.
Nice. Thank you, Deborah, for coming in and sharing your experience.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And if you're interested, you can contact Deborah to find out more about metabolic health, which is something that I think, like wellness and slimming is something that's always talked about, but the idea and the mindset behind it is not something that is always discussed, right? So if you want to find out more, you can contact Deborah. And if not, then we will see you next time on the One Day at a Time podcast. Peace.